1843, a determined segment of society blazed a trail across the Pacific Northwest called the Oregon Trail. They were a determined group of people whose firm belief in themselves became a living heritage for those that know that territory today. And now in 1977, another trail has been blazed in that same area. It is called Blazermania.
All right, we're going to dispense with all the presents, and we can do that stuff later. Let's do what we came for. Let's let Bill Schonley introduce each Blazer individually. You've already heard from the chief, and he told it as he saw it. Bill Walton. Take another bow, William, the chief. The little train that could and did, Lionel Hollins. Mighty Mo, Maurice Lucas. Luke. Guy that had a sensational game yesterday and the entire year, Bobby Gross. First-year man from the University of Dayton. What a year. What some memories he'll have. Johnny Davis. A veteran of the Portland Trailblazers for some 6 years. The oldest member of the present organization right now, the Bandit, Larry Steele. From the depths of despair to a world championship team, he'll tell you about it, Dave Twardzik. A player that can leap with the best of them. The rubber band man, Robin Jones. He's from Toe Bottom, Georgia. Old Bottom, Lloyd Neal. A veteran of NBA basketball. Been in the playoffs before, but he never went this far. Sensational player, Herman Gilliam. From Los Angeles and Phoenix, and of course now with the Trailblazers, Corky Calhoun. And of course, my friends, last but not least, affectionately known as the Who, Wally Waka. Are you ready? Rip City, all right!
Serenely set beneath the rustic beauty of Mount Hood, Mount St. Helens, the Three Sisters, the Cascade Range, the story of the 1976-77 Portland Trailblazers is a simple one. It is the story of a community of 385,000 people, the entire state of Oregon and the Northwest, and 12 disciplined men committed to excellence and bound to succeed. They are a living example of those pioneers of over a century ago. The Portland Trailblazers were weaned from expansion in 1970, and after a brief learning experience of just 7 years, they realized the dream of just a chosen few in 1977, the NBA Championship.
Philadelphia ball, 5 seconds to go. The Portland leading 109-107. Free will inbound. Here we go, the inbound of McGinnis. Drive, stop, pump, shoot, short, no good, and the game is over! The game is over! The Portland Trailblazers, at about 2 minutes and 18 seconds past the hour of 2 o'clock, have won the World Championship. They are number 1.
The Portland success story starts at the top with Coach Jack Ramsay. Just before the final series game, Coach Ramsay expressed his feelings for his team.
What I've tried to impress on the players is that when we do the right things, the winning takes care of itself, really. It's only when you start hankering for the win too strongly do you maybe become too methodical and over anxious, and we've experienced what has happened to us when we've done that before.
And this all began with you at the helm back at Willamette University in Salem. That seems like a long time ago now.
Well, that does seem like a long time ago, Bill, but if you'll excuse me, the beginning went back before then. I think the beginning started in the meetings that I had with the players when I first took the job. The first and that's about a year ago. The first meeting I had was with Bill Walton the morning after I had signed the contract to take the job here at Portland. And I went to Bill's home and we talked for about an hour and a half. And it was during that time that I related to him the things that I felt he could do to make this an effective basketball team, and the things, the overall view of the kind of game that I wanted to play and his role in it. And I came away feeling very optimistic because the things that I like to do, he liked to do. And I had always felt that my ideas of the game were very compatible with those of a big man, a big center, who was multi-skilled, a player who could give us good defense, shot blocking, outlet passing, and could also take an integral part in the offensive mechanisms of my game. And Bill Walton is probably the supreme player to do those things. So it was a happy meeting of the minds as far as I was concerned. From there, I went and visited with each of the other players. I guess it took me 2 weeks because I had to reach some of them out of town. But I came away from those meetings feeling that the players that I wanted to retain would form a good nucleus of the team, and that we could deal some of the players that I didn't think would fit in to get the kinds of players that we wanted. So it goes back to that time, Bill, and then it was carried on at Willamette at our training camp, where all of these things were put together, and the beginning was, in fact, taking form. And all of us left Willamette feeling optimistic that if we could improve and develop and acquire experience and poise during the course of the season, that everything was possible, and it's turning out that way.
The Trailblazers opened the 1976-77 season with a rush, winning 4 of their first 5 games as they overwhelmed the New York Nets, the Golden State Warriors, Detroit Pistons, and Atlanta Hawks. But their first real test came on the night of November the 5th, when the Philadelphia 76ers came to town. The Sixers had captured most of the preseason spotlight due to their galaxy of so-called superstars: Dr. J, Julius Erving, George McGinnis, Caldwell Jones, and Doug Collins. They seemed to be basketball's version of Murderers Row, an unstoppable and unbeatable team. Could the new-look Trailblazers keep up with this bunch? Well, a record crowd of 12,823 showed up at the Memorial Coliseum to find out. And what they were to witness caused even the most ardent Trailblazer fan to pinch themselves. Walton gets the tip. However, it's picked up by George McGinnis. Philadelphia 76ers have the ball right off the bat. McGinnis takes a look, hands it back to Collins. Collins over the midcourt line. He tries to get it underneath for Dr. J, but Hollins jumps in front of him, and Hollins comes up with the ball, and the Blazers have it back. In forecourt, left side, it's Hollins. He can shoot from there. Hollins is going to take the jumper from 16. It's good, and the Blazers are out in front by a score of 2-0. Back up the floor, the Philadelphia 76ers, heavily laden with a lot of talent. At least a lot of people think so. Lucas comes up with a steal. Lucas back down the floor. Jumper from the left side. Yes, sir. That's good. The Blazers lead very quickly, 4-0. Blazers with the ball in front court. Lucas right side now. McGinnis on him. Hand in his face. Luke's going to take the shot. It's on its way from 20. Rip City. All right, the Blazers lead 6-0, and this crowd is going crazy. It's Lucas again to Gross. Back over to Gross. Lucas takes off. Gross feeds him underneath. Alley-oop play. Good for 2. And it's 9-0. Blazers lead, and Philadelphia calls for a timeout. Twardzik likes to penetrate. He's got the ball. He finds room, and he drives right up the middle. Underneath for two. Yes, sir, he's got it. And right now it's 41-22, and seconds are ringing down. 76ers with the ball. It goes over to Doug Collins. Checks the clock. He's going to let it fly from 20. It's on its way. It's not good. Walton up for another rebound. 2 seconds to go. Long pass down the floor to Twardzik once again. The horn sounds and the quarter is over. And the score at the end of the first period here at the MC. First time around for these two teams. It is Portland 41, the Philadelphia 76ers 24. Into the corner to Twardzik. Back out to Walton. Top of the key. He's going to shoot from there. It's on its way. It's in for two. Bill Walton gets two more on the scoreboard. Remember, the Blazers had a halftime lead of 77-51, and they have blitzkrieged the 76ers tonight. Steve Nicks with the ball. Checks the clock. He's going to let a 25-footer go. It's on its way. Yes, it's good for Philadelphia. There's the horn. The third period is over. And the score after three reads Portland 113, the Philadelphia 76ers 74. The day also belonged to Trailblazers star center Bill Walton as he celebrated his 24th birthday. And the Blazers raced off to an eventual 146-104 win. The early season book on the Trailblazers was either win big or lose big. Fortunately for all, they were winning a lot more often than they were losing. But on the night of November the 24th, they showed that they also could win the Squeakers. Chicago was the opponent, and in overtime, Larry Steele, the Bandit, the last of the original Trailblazers, provided the clutch play.
5 seconds remaining to be played in the game. Steele has just been fouled. He'll go to the line for a pair. Steele already tonight 2 for 2 at the free throw line. If he sinks these, he'll have a total of 16 and possibly could win the ball game. It's been a Donnybrook with the Chicago Bulls. We're even 115-115. The Bulls have already lost 8 straight games. The Blazers do it tonight. It'll be a club record equaling 9th straight loss for the Chicago Bulls. It's all quiet on the Western Front as Steele goes to the line. The Bandit always has been an excellent free throw shooter. The first free throw attempt is on its way. Good. Blazers lead by 1. He'll have one more. 5 seconds to go. Overtime. Chicago, Portland. Steele takes plenty of time. Big, deep breath. It's on its way. It's up and it's in. It's good. Blazers lead by a score of 117-115. 5 seconds to go. Norman Van Leer with the ball. Long pass down the floor to May. May takes the shot. No. It's not good. The game is over, and the Blazers win it in overtime by a score of 117-115.
Then exactly 1 week later, against the Indiana Pacers, another cliffhanger. This time it was Dave Twardzik, a refugee from the ABA, who saved the day.
Now the clock is down to 12. Twardzik with the ball. Over the midcourt line, finds a little room. He drives. He's fouled. Go to the line for sure. He'll go to the line. 6 seconds on the clock, and Twardzik can tie up the ball game for sure. And for that matter, he can put the Blazers out in front. And wouldn't that be something? Blazers have had their trouble tonight. Portland had a 31-28 lead after 1, and they've had a fight all the way. 6 seconds to sing. It's 100-99 Indiana. Davey takes plenty of time. He's played a lot of basketball in this hardwood when he was in the ABA. First one is on its way. It's good. Ball game is tied. 100. Twardzik will have one more. David took a little walk. Now he's back at the line. He'll get the ball. The ball is up. It's in the air. It's good. The Blazers lead by a score of 101-100. 6 seconds to go. Jones will do the inbounding. Pass to midcourt to Billy Knight. The clock is down to 4. Over to Roundfield. Roundfield in the left corner. He lets it fly. It is not good. The Blazers win it. In regulation time, they do it on 2 free throws by Dave Twardzik. And the final score here in Indiana. Portland 101, Indiana 100.
December 7th is an infamous date in American history. But in 1976, it was to become a very memorable one for the Portland Trailblazers. Never in their 6-year existence had Portland managed to defeat the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. having lost 12 straight. But it ended this time around as the Blazers waltzed to a 111-94 victory. Portland blew the contest open in the third period as the talented tandem of Maurice Lucas and Bill Walton combined for 17 points.
We're back at Madison Square Garden here in New York, and Bill Walton and Maurice Lucas put on quite a show for the folks here in the Big Apple. The Blazers have waited a long time to come into Madison Square Garden before they were able to win. Now, this might be a good omen for things to come. I know General Manager Harry Glickman is probably lighting his big cigar right now, and I hope he is back home, because he could not be with his team tonight, and he's always from day one wanted to be here to see the Trailblazers win in Madison Square Garden. And led by Maurice Lucas and Bill Walton, and 20 big points from the train Lionel Hollins tonight, they got the job done. They outscored the New York Knicks in the third period convincingly, 36-22. They led by some 20 points after 3 periods of play, 81-61, and they win the ball game by a score of 111-94. Bill Walton not only had 16 points tonight, he hauled down 15 rebounds. He took the ball away from everybody and also had 5 block shots. And Bill told us before the ball game, one of these days he was going to have a good game in New York. And he had it tonight, and he'll have more. Lucas with his 22 points and 7 rebounds and 3 assists. And Lionel Hollins had 20 points tonight, 3 assists, 3 steals, and he led and guided the team all the way down the line. It's a rather historic occasion here in New York. The final score, Portland 111, the New York Knicks 94.
One of the reasons for Portland's early season success was their phenomenal home court record. Over the course of 2 seasons, they managed to run off 22 consecutive victories before losing to Los Angeles on December the 18th. It looked like it might be 2 straight defeats at home when the Blazers found themselves down by 10 points in the third period to Kansas City on December the 21st. But some deadly shooting by Bill Walton and Bob Gross pulled Portland out of the doldrums and led them to an eventual 99-94 win. As 1976 turned to 77, the Portland Trailblazers took to the true New Year's spirit and forgot old acquaintances. With a vengeance, on January the 4th, the world champion Boston Celtics came to Portland. Over the years, the Trailblazers had their problems with Boston, but on this night, they would atone for all of their past failures as Larry Steele and Corky Calhoun came off the bench to spearhead a very lopsided 128-84 victory. In the second quarter, they helped the Blazers stay in the game.
In the second period of the ball game, Calhoun and Steele have had some kind of night, and they've come off the bench to get it done. Calhoun with the ball. 10-foot perimeter shot. Turnaround jumper by Corky. That one's good. It's 30-27. Blazers out in front. Gross with the ball now as he took it away from Curtis Rowe. Rowe has not had a good night tonight. Gross over to Steele. Steele from the left baseline off the break. He lets it fly. 2 more for the Bandit, and Larry Steele makes it 34-29. The Blazers out in front. Again, it's Corky Calhoun as he steals the ball away from Tommy Boswell. Calhoun drops the pass for Bobby Gross. Back to Calhoun. They swing it around the top of the key. Calhoun gets the ball again. He goes deep to the right side. Back to Davis. Back to Corky Calhoun. He lets it fly from the corner for Corky. Yes, sir, Corky. And the Blazers have a commanding lead right now. Again, thanks to Corky Calhoun and Larry Steele. And some pretty good outside shooting by a guy by the name of Squirmin Gilliam.
And in the fourth quarter, they helped blow the Celtics out.
Blazers have the ball. Gilliam over to Steele. Steele drives all the way. Up the middle. It's good. He's got it. 2 more for Larry Steele, and the Blazers lead 90-69. Gilliam and Calhoun, along with Steele, doing the yeoman's share of the work out there tonight, here in the fourth and final period, in front of another jam-packed crowd at Portland's Memorial Coliseum. Scott with the ball for the Boston Celtics. He's at midcourt. He does a little jitterbug dance out there. Steele reaches in. He's got the ball. Larry Steele with a steal from Charlie Scott. He goes all the way back-to-back
69, and now Boston calls for a timeout.
Then 10 days later, they stunned the Celtics again as they won their first game ever at the Boston Garden. The greatest fear of all Oregonians was realized on January the 27th, when Bill Walton was sidelined with an inflamed Achilles tendon. Rookie Robin Jones moved in to do a creditable job. But without the big redhead in the pivot, the Trailblazer running game lacked the cohesiveness that was so much a part of their game plan, and as a result, they stumbled through the month of February, winning only 3 of 11 games. But with the coming of March, the Trailblazers were ready for the stretch run. On March the 1st, the Philadelphia 76ers returned to Portland, hoping to atone for their earlier season lambasting at the hands of the Trailblazers. They almost pulled it out, but in the dying seconds, forward Maurice Lucas came through.
17 seconds remaining to be played. Blazers had just come back out of a timeout. Philadelphia leading 107-106. This game has seesawed back and forth all night long here at the Coliseum. It will be the Blazers' ball, down by 1. Gross brings the ball out of backcourt. Gross over the midcourt line. Over for Corky Calhoun. Seconds are ticking off. It's down to 13, to 12. Calhoun over for Lucas. Lucas top of the key. Fakes, drives, rolls to the hoop. He scores! And Philadelphia calls for a timeout. Maurice Lucas driving lickety-brindle right up the middle. Makes the score 108-107. But 10 seconds remaining to be played in the game. It'll be Philadelphia's ball. We'll see what happens. They call for a timeout. Now 10 seconds to go. Undoubtedly, they'll get the ball to Dr. J. They inbound. Pass to Dr. J at midcourt. Goes to his right. Here's a 20-footer. It's on its way. No good. Rebound in traffic. Lionel Hollins, 1 second to go. Lionel hugs the ball. The game is over. And the Blazers win it on a driving lay-in by Maurice Lucas. The final score. Portland 108. Philadelphia 107.
As the season wound down, it was quite evident that the Trailblazers would have to hold off the Golden State Warriors for second place in the NBA's Pacific Division. On Friday, April the 1st, the Warriors came to the Pacific Northwest with only a half game separating the two teams. A Portland victory was a must, and a victory was forthcoming as Bill Walton put on an outstanding performance, scoring 30 points while holding down 14 rebounds in assuring the Trailblazers of their first playoff berth in the team's 7-year history.
Hollins down the floor, hands over to Wally Walker, goes to the hoop, doesn't score, tip in, Bill Walton. Blazers get to within 2. 8 seconds, get the ball to Walton, takes a look, back to Lucas, now Walton underneath, drop the ball, got it again, right-handed hook, good. 39-39, the game is tied up on a right-handed hook by Walton. He's had back-to-back right-handed hooks underneath. Walton takes the ball off the iron. 8 rebounds in the ball game for Walton at this point. Walton to steal, to Lucas, around the left side, Gilliam, now to Hollins, right of the key, lets it fly, rips, city, yes sir. Gilliam takes a look, back out to Luke, from the circle, will he take the shot? No, he waits. Over for Hollins, goes to his right, 18-footer off the glass, off the iron, no good. Lucas, the offensive rebound, back to Hollins, Hollins drives, puts it up, it is good! 12 points for Lionel Hollins, 8 of those here in the second quarter. 47-40, Portland by 7. Gus Williams drives, goes to the baseline, right-handed hook, no good. Lucas the rebound, ahead to Hollins, look at Walton go. Hollins, Walton scores! Hollins, Wally Walker, top of the circle, over for Hollins. Hollins to the right side, playing the clock down. They don't want to make any mistakes. It's 107-98. They like to get one more bucket. Hollins with the ball with 5 seconds to go to Gilliam. Gilliam stops, shoots, good! He's got it! Icing on the cake. 109-98, 4 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. There it is. The game is over, and the Blazers win it. Look at Jack Ramsay. Is he ever excited? The basketball, too. He's taking it into the locker room. The Blazers, for the first time in the history of their franchise, win it. And the scoreboard says playoffs. The final score tonight, Portland 109, the Warriors 98. Welcome to our Blazers scoreboard. It's playoff time. And time in the history of this franchise, and will you welcome our guest, the Chief, Bill Walton. Well, my friend, the folks want to hear from you. It's a great feeling, I can assure you.
You know, in the NBA, yeah, every team is capable of winning the championship. Yeah, everybody has fine players. It's who's ever the healthiest and the hottest at playoff time. And, you know, our chances are good.
Then 2 days later, rookie Wally Walker had the best game of his brief pro career as he scored 12 fourth-quarter points to key a 119-104 win over Seattle. Then in their next game, Dave Twardzik and Lloyd Neal came off the bench to trigger a fourth-quarter rally against Detroit that wrapped up second place in the NBA's Pacific Division for the Portland Trailblazers. With only 2 games left on the schedule, the Trailblazers posted impressive victories over the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers. So now it was on to the playoffs for the first time ever. The Trailblazers had closed the season with a rush, 6 consecutive victories, and a rush that would propel them and their fans into the euphoric world known as Blazermania.